Hey, it's Finn. We're making a game. Developers want to make sure as many people as possible play the game. More players equals, well, more money. But not everyone has the same hardware. Whether the system they're using is just less powerful, the new systems are too expensive, or they're the biggest keeper in the world and they're still committed to their 12-year-old baby. But with these variables in place comes the struggle to get the game to run, which is how we end up with games that are downgraded for the masses. And thus, we ended up with these games. 2008 was right around the time of the Spider-Man craze. We had just had Spider-Man 3 the year before, and everyone couldn't help but want to get their hands on anything related to the webhead. And out of the shadows came Spider-Man Web of Shadows. This game looked amazing in all its teasers. It was going to be open world, let you swap between the red and black suits on the fly, throw cars, fight the symbiote invasion. The game launched, and it certainly was good. Definitely a hidden gem of this generation. So imagine being the poor child who woke up and only owned a PS2 and saw this on Christmas morning. Web of Shadows on the PS2, unlike its 7th gen counterpart, is a side-scrolling beat-em-up featuring bald man illusions. Gone is the open world swinging, replaced with awkwardly ramming into walls. Gone are the satisfying controls, the satisfying combos, replaced with no hit registration. And finally, gone is the power of the black suit, being replaced by being came on by Venom. The game attempts to mimic the choice system from the 7th generation version, including dialogue choices that let you be kind or rude. But instead, it actually just results in you missing a load of content, as turning down quests means you just don't do them. Damn, this version of the game sucks. Let's move on to something different. This one's upsetting me. Also in 2008, we have Star Wars The Force Unleashed. This game oozed with a cheeky bit of 2000s edge. You play as Darth Vader's secret apprentice, as we go on an adventure to learn the ways of the Force and kick ass as we go. The 7th gen version of this game was the flagship version. This version features high quality graphics and animations. The main draw of this game was the physics system though. The player can pick up objects, people, and just wing it. Whatever you want to throw, just do it. Along with this, the game features a dismemberment system. It really was a display of what the 7th gen could do. But along with this meant we'd need a Wii version, because everyone's nan had brought a Wii, and that many people's money could not be missed. But the Wii is vastly underpowered, and that's how we ended up with this. The Force Unleashed for the Wii follows mainly the same ground as the flagship version, but now featuring some crusty graphics, and Starkiller has learned how to hold his lightsaber the correct way. Good for him. This version of the game couldn't handle the full physics system, means it turns more into a hack and slash as you play through the game. Instead of buttons, we play with the fun of motion controls. Yeah! Now I'm feeling the Force! The motion controls are jammed into every bit of combat to make sure you develop arthritis by the early age of 14. And funnily enough, this version of the game actually features some differences from the 7th gen version. These range from small things like rooms having different layouts, to being able to explore your ship, which is kinda cool. I mean, it would have been nice to have had this in the flagship version. And also, extra story content. This kinda leads me to suspect that this game uses an early version of the script than the flagship version got. In addition, in this Wii version of the game, it has a dueling mode. Yeah, it features another bit of extra content. You can fight your friends in this, but there's no option to fight the AI, which kinda sucks. The funny thing is, this version of the game actually got a remaster on the Switch, not the flagship version. I would suspect this is probably so they could reuse the motion controls. So, if you were going to play this version of the game, would I recommend the Switch version? No. I would actually recommend the PSP version. The PSP version of the game is mostly the same as the Wii version, but features a normal combat scheme, as you actually just use buttons, and in place of the dueling mode, features exclusive missions based on the events of the films, and a wave-based survival game. Genuinely good. To escape from the curse of 2008, I say we go back in time to 2002, and have a cheeky look at this. Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets was made for the 6th generation of consoles. It features an explorable Hogwarts and takes us through the story of the second book and film. But getting this game to run on previous gen, it simply was just not going to happen. But fear not, for we had already had a game based on the first game that was on the 5th generation, so we can reuse the assets and shit some it out for those who were on the PS1, and this is what we ended up with. There's not much really to be said about this game. It literally is just the previous game, now featuring the story of the second book and film. I mean, when I say it's the same, I mean every mechanic is the same. The assets are the same. The game isn't particularly good, and if you're interested in playing a game based on this book, just play the flagship version. I don't think I really need to say anything else about this game. It kind of speaks for itself. I mean, just look at it.
1. Perfect. Perfect. Perfect.
Now, have a detour and talk about one of my favourite games, just to get a break from these bad versions of games we've been seeing. You know, that game is Dead Rising. Dead Rising was one of my favourite games ever. It was a pillar of the 7th generation, featuring the ability to use anything as a weapon, rescue survivors, and goddamn, the amount of zombies on screen was something amazing. Luckily, there's no way to get this game to run on previous gen systems. They wouldn't even try. And are you shitting me? Dead Rising Shop Till You Drop is the Wii version of an Xbox 360 game. So how is it? It's awful. The game had no way of using the MT framework engine built for the Xbox 360 version, so it just reuses the Resident Evil 4 engine instead, which makes this whole game feel like I'm playing a ROM hack of RE4. With this change in engine, it means the photography mechanic is completely gone. Well, I guess Frank's not a photojournalist anymore, and now it just feels like I'm escorting Ashley whenever I escort a survivor. There's new enemy types such as poodles and parrots, I mean, just for the sake of adding new enemies. But the main annoying thing about this version is a security guard appears to have decided to barricade off half the mall, making it impossible to freely progress like in the original game. This game also features some changes from the original, such as we can now save the gun shop owner so that we can buy weapons off him. I suspect this was done solely just so we could have a merchant system like in RE4. And you may have noticed from the gameplay in the background, but remember the Xbox 360's famous feature of hundreds of zombies on screen? Well, now we have about 20, and they pop in every 4 seconds. This version of the game also features minigames for some reason. I'm not entirely sure why. They were just added and they're not in any other version of the game. They're not bad, they're just here. What is it with these versions just adding random extra content? Okay, let's flip back to the cursed year of 2008. Call of Duty is the game you had to play. It had a cracking multiplayer, and have you heard of this new zombies mode? The point was, everyone was scrounging to get their hands on these games to play. It was the playground warfare that these games caused. But, what if you didn't have a PC? What if you didn't have a 7th gen console? Well, don't worry. They had you sorted. Call of Duty World at War released on the Wii day and day with the other versions, and god damn, this game made me feel like I was in a war. Because I was not fighting the Axis, I was fighting the controls. They are awful. I tried my best to capture as much gameplay as I could for this game, but it gave me serious whiplash to play. Also, while on the subject of this game, it's got mostly the same amount of content as the flagship version. It seems to just have a few campaign missions missing, and is completely missing the zombies version. So, the Wii version sucks, but the PS2 also got a copy of this game for some reason. I say we give that a look. And it's a completely different game. No, literally, this is just a different game. It's not bad, it's just a generic World War II shooter. But it's not World at War. I wonder why they even made this. Were there really that many people on PS2 dying to play this? This version only features an original campaign, different from the World at War campaign, no multiplayer, and no zombies. It was the last Call of Duty game to grace the PS2, and it's not bad, but no wonder they gave up after this. I gotta be entirely honest, this next game, I don't know if it even fits with the theme of this video, but where else was I going to get the chance to mention that FIFA 14 came out on the PS2? This game released on the PS2, the PS3, and the PS4. It's genuinely impressive. I wonder if anyone ran to pick up FIFA 14 day one and picked up this version. This version of the game features, well, from what I can tell, mostly the same content as the other versions. I'm not much of a FIFA player, sorry to admit that, but I think it is mostly the same amount of content. The only noticeable change is the Ultimate Team mode is gone. So that means no opening packs on your PS2. I'm so sorry. This video may have given you the impression that most of these sort of games only happened years ago. But no, this still happens. All you have to do is look at examples like Mortal Kombat 1 for the Switch. Or in a manner of speaking, any game that launches on both current and last gen counts. They're all made with the intention of compromising in order to give somebody the experience of the game. But is it worth it? Well, I guess you can make your mind up on that one. Overall, these were just the first games I thought of when thinking about this topic, but I can think of many more. So if people would be interested in hearing me waffle on a few more of these, please let me know in the comments. On the subject of things I should do though, I should thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know. I let people vote on my next video, so if you want to check me out on my socials and vote, feel free. I hope everyone has a good day. Bye!